Mahjoob Zweiri is a professor of contemporary Middle East politics at Qatar University. He joins me now live from Doha. Mahjoob, I just want to ask you firstly about this. Finally, we're seeing after several days of uncertainty, this prisoner exchange set to go ahead tonight. Does this give you hope for the rest of the ceasefire, for phase 2 and for eventually phase 3?
I think Benjamin Netanyahu and his right-wing government, they played a game in the last few days, and his finance minister, Smotrich, has announced that his party was behind the delay of this, the 700 Palestinians. Again, we witnessed the complication of domestic politics of Israel, and how this influenced the whole political process of mediation and delay the release of the Palestinians. What we are witnessing the last few days, it was clear that there was a pressure on Netanyahu, and also there is a pressure on Hamas. But what is interesting, the outcome. The outcome is basically what was happening in the previous mediation process, where the Egyptians they become fully engaged and involved at the exchange process, where basically they will have in hand the 4 Israeli bodies and the Palestinians, and then they will give the Israelis the 4 bodies, and they will give the Palestinians, they allow them to go back. So basically, it is the impact, the pressure on the Egyptian to make sure that the process ends smoothly.
What do you think is going to happen next, Mahjoob? We've heard about an extension possibly of phase 1, given the games played by the Israeli government that you describe, and negotiations were meant to start 3 weeks ago for the terms of phase 2, and Hamas and Israel still seem so far from agreement as to what happens next. So what is your prediction?
I would argue that with the current right-wing government in Israel, I think there will be more strategy. I call it buying time strategy, where basically the Israeli government will not move to the second phase. Simply, second phase, it's about political process. It's about the day after. It's about what will happen in Gaza, and all of this Israeli government does not want to discuss, because basically Arabs are not accepting their solutions. They are not accepting the proposal of Trump, and they don't want to be engaged fully on forcing Palestinians to leave Gaza. So basically, the strategy of the Israeli now is buying more time, extend the first phase, trying to pressure the Palestinian, delay the implementation of the protocol of the humanitarian protocol, pressuring the Palestinian more, assuming that will lead to the moment where Hamas giving more concessions. From previous experience, such a scenario did fail.
Mahjoob Zweiri, Professor of Contemporary Middle East Politics at Qatar University, thank you so much for your time.
My pleasure.